The battlefield stank of smoke, plasma burns, and spilled blood. The grasslands of Tarvos IV had once stretched wide and green under a twin-sun sky, but now only ashes and ruined war machines dotted the horizon. And I stood in the middle of it all, sword broken, rifle empty, body trembling with exhaustion. The alien warlord loomed over me, her silhouette cutting across the dust-filled light. She was taller than any human woman I'd ever seen. 7 feet of muscle wrapped in obsidian armor, scarred from countless battles. Her eyes glowed a burning amber beneath her horned helm, and when she lifted her blade, the air shimmered with raw energy. I should have been afraid. I was afraid. Yet somewhere deep in me, stubborn human pride roared. Stand tall, even if it's your last breath. So I raised the jagged half of my sword and met her eyes. She tilted her head, almost amused. Then, with one swift strike, she knocked the weapon from my hands and pressed her blade against my chest. Defeated. Her soldiers circled, their guttural chants echoing through the field. I expected her to finish me, to claim my head as a trophy like so many others. Instead, she leaned close, her voice low, resonant, filled with something I couldn't name. "You fight beyond your strength," she said. "You endure where others fall. You will make a strong husband." The battlefield fell silent. My mind reeled. Husband. Middle. The warlord's name was Kalara of the Vadran clans, conqueror of 12 systems, destroyer of fleets, breaker of men. And now apparently my bride-to-be. I was shackled and dragged to her flagship, a vessel so massive it eclipsed the stars. The other prisoners whispered of her cruelty, her unmatched skill, her reputation as a living storm. Yet when she looked at me, there was no cruelty, only possession. In her private chambers, she dismissed the guards. The doors sealed with a thunderous hiss. I stood unarmed, bound at the wrists, trying to mask my fear with sarcasm. "So this is it, then. You beat me in battle. Now I get the honor of being your trophy husband." Kalara's expression didn't change. She removed her helm, and for the first time I saw her fully. Angular features etched with war paint, hair like silver fire braided down her back, scars that told stories of survival. She was beautiful in the way a hurricane is beautiful. Awe-inspiring, unstoppable, and dangerous. "Trophy," she repeated, her voice low. "No. A trophy is dead, displayed. You are alive. You are resilient. I choose strength, not corpses." I laughed bitterly. "Well, forgive me if I don't feel strong right now. You did just crush me like an insect." Her gaze sharpened. "You rose even after defeat. That is rare. In my people's way, the defeated warrior who endures becomes a bondmate. Strength joined with strength." I shook my head, disbelief clawing at me. "You can't just claim people like that. I'm not some prize to be owned." Kalara stepped closer until I could feel the heat radiating from her armor. "Among my kind, the bond is sacred. It is not ownership. It is recognition. You are the first human who has stood against me without breaking. That is worth more than conquest." Her words should have angered me, but instead they stirred something else, something dangerous. A part of me that had always fought to be seen, to matter in a galaxy where humans were often the underdogs. Still, I refused to bend so easily. "If you expect me to kneel, you've picked the wrong man." Kalara's lips curved, almost a smile. "Good. A husband who kneels is weak." The cultural clash. Days became weeks. Instead of a cell, I was given quarters near hers, guarded yet comfortable. Food was brought, alien garments offered. I refused them at first, but survival has a way of making you compromise. Kalara visited often, sometimes to test me in sparring matches, other times to question me about humanity. She was fascinated by our stories, of ancient wars, of resilience, of love born in hardship. She listened more than I expected, though always with that sharp, predatory gaze. "Your people wage war among yourselves," she observed one evening after I'd told her about Earth's history. "Why? Because we're stubborn. Because we believe in different things. Because we'd rather die free than live under someone else's rule." She studied me long, then nodded. "That I understand." And slowly, against all logic, something shifted. I began to see the cracks beneath her armor. The way her hand lingered over old scars when she thought no one watched. The way she looked at the stars as if searching for something lost. She wasn't just a conqueror. She was someone carrying the weight of her entire clan, bound by traditions as heavy as chains. One night, after another sparring match where she predictably flattened me, I lay on the training floor, groaning. "You enjoy humiliating me, don't you?" I muttered. Kalara extended a hand, pulling me up with ease. "No, I enjoy watching you rise again. Others stay down. You do not." And damn it, I felt my chest tighten. Because in her strange warrior way, it was respect. Rising conflict. But not all of her people approved. Whispers spread through the Vadran fleet. Their warlord had chosen a human, a weak outsider, as her mate. Many saw it as dishonor, an insult to their traditions. Challenges began, warriors demanding duels to prove I was unworthy. Kalara crushed most of them before they reached me, but one night I was ambushed by 3 young warriors in the training halls. They struck fast, and I barely managed to grab a staff to defend myself. It was brutal. Blows rained down, pain flared, but something primal ignited in me. I fought with everything I had, every lesson drilled into me since I was a boy. Fight dirty, fight smart, never stop. When Kalara arrived, I was bloodied, gasping, but still standing over my defeated attackers. She looked at me, not with amusement this time, but with something deeper. Pride. "You see now," she said to her warriors, voice ringing with authority. "This human bleeds. He falls, but he rises. That is strength. That is why he is mine." And the room fell silent. The bond. That night, she came to me not as a conqueror, but as a woman. "There is no weakness in you," she said softly, removing the gauntlet from her hand. "Only fire. My people will learn to see it. Or they will fall." I should have resisted. Should have clung to the defiance that kept me alive. But when she looked at me, I felt something stir that was stronger than fear, stronger than pride. I reached out, touching the scarred line across her palm. "If I agree, if I accept this bond, it's not because I'm defeated. It's because I choose." Kalara's eyes burned brighter than ever. "Then we are equals. 2 flames. Together we burn brighter." And in that moment I realized what made humans different. What made me different. We didn't yield because we had to. We chose. And that choice was more powerful than conquest. Ending. Months later, when the Vadran fleet descended upon another world, I stood beside Kalara. Not as a prisoner, not as a trophy, but as her partner. Her warriors looked at me differently now. Some with respect, others with wary curiosity. On the battlefield, I fought not as a slave, but as a man who had earned his place. Beside me, Kalara unleashed her fury, a storm of steel and fire. And when the dust cleared, when the enemy lay broken, she turned to me and placed her bloodied blade against my chest once more.